All right, what's going on, guys? Just wanted to make a quick video on industry updates. There's a lot going on in the industry and in the market. So we just want to kind of talk about what's going on and what's not going on. It's been a weird start to the year. Obviously, we had the lull in the market from October to February, but things picked up with the spring market pretty quickly. And we're back to seeing multiple offers and well over list price
In certain price ranges.
in certain price ranges.
That first time home buyer market is a toughie. So feel for those people.
Well, the market is what the market is. So I mean, you have to adapt to it. And I think a lot of people have sat on the sidelines and say, "Well, I'm going to wait for this market to change." It will change, but it's not necessarily changing for the better. We just did class last week. I was doing with some people on equity. Just a real quickie is that at retirement age, I forget the exact number, so I'll just exaggerate it. But at retirement age, the homeowner versus a renter, the average net worth was something like $400,000 to $500,000 different between the homeowner and a renter. So I think, getting that message out to some of these buyers out there that I know it's at 7%, but that's historically not a bad interest rate. And it's still, real estate is going up. I even did this the other day with some people. So, got to think about this as well. You say interest or real estate goes up 3% a year. Okay, that's great. So they go, so I could put it in the stock market and get 5. Let's stop and back up. If I put 20% down on a $100,000 house, I only have $20,000 in this deal. If that $100,000 house goes up 3%, it went up $3,000. I got a 3% return on 20, not on 100.
Yeah.
So it
You're
adds up
leveraging,
very quick.
yeah.
It adds up very quick. But the market's been challenging. I know a lot of agents are running around. Everybody's nervous. NAR is posting numbers that will probably top out this year at 4.4 million sales. The last time we did that, we had about 900,000 real estate members of NAR. We're going to do that this year with 1.6 million, which means there's a whole lot more people scrambling around for a whole lot less food to eat. So, I think people are starting to try to figure out, what do I need to do this year to make sure I get my share?
Yeah, I think it's definitely I don't want to say agents are worried, but you're seeing a lot of just uncertainty, little anxiousness on, hey, what is the market going to do, or how do I stay busy? I say, for me, I'm telling agents, get back to basics. It's real estate's not rocket science, but you do have to work smarter, not harder. And so get back to the basics, stay in front of your sphere. If you're not in front of them, somebody else is going to be. And we are absolutely in an age where our attention is being competed for by Apple and Coca-Cola and Nike and every company on the planet, right? So you're not just competing with the agent down the street. You're competing with all of these big companies. Your ads need to be good. Your copy needs to be good. Your value needs to be even better. So I think that's the hardest part for agents, is coming up with, what do I say, right? And it's making sure that you're providing that value. Document what you do. We do, and you can sign up for it. It's AI Agent Academy. We give free emails out you can send to your database every week. These are AI generated emails, but they are local based. So we do it for Dayton, Cincinnati, and Northern Kentucky. And they're fantastic. Way for you to stay in front and provide that value of things to do. They're always time based. So this week we had one go out for Mother's Day. We have one coming up in 2 weeks for Memorial Day. We have spring cleaning tips. We have just all these different things that keep you in front of your clients, so that they aren't calling the number on the sign or writing an offer at an open house, because there's nothing worse than getting a call from your cousin saying, "Oh, I just called the number that was on Zillow." So we try to avoid that. And I think it is getting back to basics. And you can do that a number of ways through emails and videos and social media, and making sure that you're providing valuable content, I think, is the key.
I think items of value is where it's at. Don't just tell them about what you're doing today. Here's the house I showed, whatever. Something that means something to them. If you're scrolling through Facebook and you see somebody talking about the 10 houses that they showed, I don't care. But if you send me an email and tell me what my house is worth, I care a lot. If you send me something about things that I can do to improve the value of my house, what paint colors are popular, things that I care about, it's going to be front of mind. If you're just sending me numbers and stats, and that doesn't appeal to me.
Did a training yesterday on leveraging your database, and I used Danny Powers, one of our agents, as an example. She posted, "Hey, trying to increase my learning capacity, and I'm learning this new CMA tool or market analysis tool. Do I have anybody that'd be willing to test it for me? That just send me your address. I'd be happy to, and I'd love your feedback on, is it easy to understand? Is it hard to understand? Is it missing information? Do you think it's accurate, etc." I pulled that Monday night. On Tuesday, when I did the training, I did a screenshot, and there were 18. I'm sorry. When I pulled it, there were 18 comments. I mentioned her. She was at the training. She goes, "There's 50 now."
Wow,
50 people reaching out to her
that's brilliant.
on her social media saying, "I'd love to volunteer," because everybody wants to know what their home's worth. They want to know how much equity they have in it. They want to know, what are my options? So that kind of information is the most valuable that you can absolutely provide. So start doing it.
That's all.
Send out the market reports every week, or not weekly, maybe monthly, quarterly. Stay in front of your clients.
I had a class we did this morning. It was about using social media, as a marketing tool, and there was two brokers on there. One of them had 14,000 YouTube followers. The other one had over 20,000 Instagram. One of them specialized more in Instagram, one in YouTube. Of course, people on Facebook. There's lots of different ways, but to comment on what Christy said, they just hammered about content. Make it. I think a lot of agents are pounding their chest and telling us how many houses they sold. They don't realize it, but people are hiding them and they're disappearing off of Facebook. They're not watching that. They don't care that you sold 26 houses a day. You showed 14. You got 5 listings coming in, and you fed the dog at lunch.
No,
They
what's in
don't
it for
really
them?
care about that. They
Right.
want to know what you can give them a value that makes sense to them. They're watching HGTV. They're getting the news. They're getting a lot of bad news sometimes. We talked earlier about the average sale prices and how that you see the media talk about the fact that prices have dropped. Prices haven't dropped. The average sale price has, because people with 7% interest rates are buying a smaller house than they were at 3% interest rates. But the average sale price, in fact, Cincinnati is listed, Greater Cincinnati is listed as one of the strongest real estate markets in the country for price appreciation. We're still seeing price appreciation, not depreciation. Certainly not on the individual houses. So,
No, and going back to what you said, it's hard. It's really hard to get a following of 15 to 20,000 on any social platform. So I think the key is to remember that if you have 5 views on a video or 10, that's 5 to 10 people that chose you over Netflix.
right.
That's Jared James said that when I was in Columbus, and it was such a way to understand it that never really clicked. And it's like, you're right. I'd rather have one person with the intent of buying or selling a home watch my video than have 100,000 that don't, right? So it only takes one.
That was great. Christy does all kinds of training here with, putting the tools in everybody's hands.
What are you seeing agents looking for at the moment?
The agents I'm talking to that are struggling, they're just looking how to separate themselves from everybody else. You need to be different and you need to be front of mind. I like to talk about the soft tosses. Like you said, the people people who know you, like you, trust you. Take them out to lunch, take them for coffee, do something. And it's not about real estate. It's just reminding them that you're a human and that you're there. So you schedule that a couple times a month and you're with those people. Getting back to the basics, sending out mail, giving them something. And
Not
again,
recipe cards.
an item of value. We have a relationship with a small business influencing company that sends out a gift of the month. And that's one way to stay in touch with your clients. And something, again, Jared James, we're bringing him up a lot, but he said, stop calling them past clients. They are your clients. They're not past clients. So don't consider them that. They're still your client. You don't know when they're going to buy their next house. They could be
Doctor doesn't
looking-
call you a past patient.
Right. I mean, his example was when he gets his haircut, if he sees his barber at Kroger's the next day, his barber's not like, oh man, there's my past client. He's like, there's Jared. So they are your clients. So stay in touch with your clients or they will become past clients. I feel like a lot of people right now need that sense of community in this business because it's kind of a scary time. It's going through uncharted waters and they need people that they feel like they can bounce ideas off of, community, people that are like-minded and people to be around.
Think of the wave we've ridden from COVID, like coming up here, going down here, back up. We went from pretty good market to not knowing what was going to happen to nobody spends time in the office to, hey, agents are starting to come back into the
Yes.
office. They're still, they miss the water cooler talk. And it used to be water cooler talk was a negative thing because that was where everybody complained and, had deal issues. But it's like, hey, agents need that interaction with other agents to talk about what's going on in the market so they can pick up one or two ideas. They need the training from their brokers to tell them what to do in a market that we've never seen before. You've been doing this for a long time.
Wow.
And you and I sat down and you said, I've never seen a market like this in X amount of years. But we know what has historically worked, and that's what agents need to go back to doing.
Mm-hmm. And it's a broken record to say back to the basics, but it's something that we got away from because the market was so easy.
Oh, it was put a sign in and it's gone.
Yeah, I mean, how much marketing did you do on a listing side? And the buyer's agents, the problem there, I won't say it was easy because you were missing lots of dinners and racing out there in one of 32 showings this afternoon. That part's not easy, but it wasn't hard to convince somebody they wanted to buy it. All 32 of them wanted to buy it. So now we're back to the basics, and the basics that really haven't changed. They haven't changed since I started way back when. It's contacts with people and making sure that they know what you do and how you do it and what value you bring. I think, as people look at some of their brokerages, there's lots of different business models. I've seen them all. In a hot market, they all exist and they do well. In a tough market, business brokerages, real estate brokerages go back to the basics as well. Do you have a solid broker there? Do you have mentors? Do you have trainers? Do you have the tools? Do you have the brand? Do you have all these things that you didn't worry about? You didn't need them. You didn't need them a couple years ago. You just had a real estate business. You had a card. People knew you ran a business, and you ran around and showed them houses. Today, that's not the case. You need all the tools. And I really think the most important thing I see in this market is for people to have mentors and coaches. And hopefully they have that in-house with their brokerage. If not, there's third-party companies like, the Tom Ferry Group, Brian Buffini. There's some of those nationals that have just a whole slew of coaches out there available. But it's the accountability piece and staying. It's going to be a lonely business. Sometimes you feel like you're out on a limb and there's somebody sawing it behind you. It's kind of nice to have somebody that's going to grab that limb and hang on with you. So I think the coaching part and the mentoring part is huge. And I think being in a brokerage or someplace where you feel like you have those tools available, that you're not out there all by yourself, I think that's important.
Yeah. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention AI.
Of course.
I've been talking about it for weeks, months. Had emails, we've had trainings.
Actually, he's not even a person.
No,
He's just
this
AI.
is all
He's-
hologram.
The tile.
No, but AI is not going to replace humans. But I do believe that agents that use AI will replace agents that do not. It just makes your life so much easier. The amount of things that you can do, content related, and offload to that listing descriptions is very basic, right? It can rewrite a listing description for me, or it can write it for me in 2 seconds. I can spend 2 minutes editing it. I'm done, right? As opposed to my previous listing description that looked like everybody else's listing description. This does the same thing. Content for your emails. Like I said, AI Agent Academy will do it for you. You don't have to go to ChatGPT. We'll do it for you. It's getting into video editing. It's in photo editing. It's going to become a part of our everyday lives in terms of running a business. So take the menial tasks off your plate so that you're not working necessarily in your business, but on your business, so that you know where your deals are coming from 3 months from now. It was tough in the past when you're dealing with multiple offers and a lot of clients and, missing kids' sporting events and dinners and those kind of things. It was difficult to juggle all of that. AI is going to take a lot of that off your plate. So if you want to know how to do that, stay tuned. We've got a training coming up for that. But check out it. I've said it twice now. AIAgentAcademy.com. We'll give you those emails for free.
I feel like that's similar to the old people who weren't going to use a cell phone. I'm not using it. I've got my desk phone. I don't want to be bothered when I leave. I'm not doing it. Same
Emails.
thing with email. I'm not. No, my secretary. That's like a word that just like my secretary will take care of my communication, and then they'll let me know when I get back to the office. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And those people just kind of died on the line. You can't avoid it, so you may as well embrace it. You don't have to like it, but you have to understand it and know how you can use it. Or when you're being duped, when you're talking to a chat and you're like, are you a real person? And they say, I like to think of myself as a real person. I mean, I have full on conversations with Alexa and I'm okay with that. She's my friend.
No, I think you're going to see voice interaction become mainstream for your phone assistants, for your Amazon devices, and you're going to be able to use it for work-related tasks in the near future. So, anything else you guys want to add?
I just think that the business really hasn't changed. It's the same business we've always been in, you know, and it's a people business, and it's staying in touch with clients. You said it before, you know, you're not an ex, it's not an ex buyer, you're not their ex agent, you're not, you know, you are their agent and they are your client. They should be for life, you know. You treat people that way, and you think about, you know, staying in touch with them and have systems in place. But the agents I see that are most successful have systems in place and they're working their systems. It's not an accident, you know. A lot of agents you'll see in the business, they have these months where they have the highs and they're closing, and then the next month they didn't do any prospecting. It's like this. You know, the agents that you see constantly doing this or constantly doing this, they have systems in place. It's not an accident. They're not lucky.
No, it's, I mean, the lead game, we've talked about leads in the past. There's 110 million real estate leads, but only 4.4 million homes sold. The ones that are winning are the ones that have systems in place. There's a reason that the consumer is going to 8 different websites before they choose an agent, because I forget what the stat was, but it was like over 50% of the leads weren't even responded to.
Right.
So it's the ones that have systems in place that win.
The market's always good. It's not a glamorous business. This is a grinded out business. You know, you grind it out. It's not glamorous. I wish it was HGTV where they get on the phone and say, hey, you bought a house. They didn't even write a contract. I don't know how they bought a house, but it isn't that way. But it is a great business, and it's very rewarding. I think sale prices have helped the agents stay in the business.
Yep.
You know, as the unit sales per sales associate have dropped, the dollar volume has remained, you know, pretty solid. So
Oh yeah.
so that has saved a lot of people. We'll see how that plays out over the next couple of
You're
years.
still going to see, and I think it's a lack of barrier to entry into the industry and training within the industry. You're going to see a 20% reduction in agents in the next 12 months. I mean, there's a reason statistically 80% of agents fail within the first 2 years. And so that's going back to the stats. We talked about it in another video. It was 68% of homeowners are going to use somebody that's only sold 0 to 2 homes. Well, think about the stat I just said where it said 80% of the agents failed within 2 years. They at least maybe got one listing. And so that's kind of a skewed number, right? But it's not, because there's always a new pool of agents coming into the business. So don't fall victim to the stats either.
And hang in there. All indications are that we're going to have a soft landing in 23, and that we should see some improvement overall in the economy in 24. So.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys in the next one.